Lads, we're on to day 3, the Marsh Novice Chase, 2.5 miles, a grade 1, and here are the 5 key stats. All winners bar Sam Crow were aged 6 or 7. The Irish have won 8 of the last 10 renewals, and none of the last 6 returned bigger than 4-1. I think York Hill was the only Ballymore horse to follow up and win the Marsh Chase the following season, and 8 of the last 10 raced within 54 days of the festival. I'll give you a quick show of betting for the Marsh Chase. Envoy Allen, 4-5 for Gordon Elliott. And Urgemeen, 10-1, has the option but likely to go for the Arkle. Alart was a faller. He could potentially line up in here. Faller last time out, last weekend, 12-1 chance. Monkfish, 12-1, won't go here. Royal Pagil, won't go here, 14-1. Shan Blue is 14-1 for Dan Skelton. Andy Dufresne is a 16-1 chance for Gordon Elliott. Wouldn't be surprised if he lined up in here. Colreevy probably going to the Mayor's Chase at 16-1. Franco de Port could appreciate a step up and trip. 16-1 for Willie Munn. 16-1 Fuster Raffles. 16-1 Hitman. Latest exhibition 16-1. And Dan the Company is a 20-1 chance. 20-1 the rest. Not much depth in here. It's probably going to be a small runner field, Davy. You spoke of Envoy Allen before. He ran at Punchestown. You can speak him about it again here. He has it all, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's the real deal. Obviously, it was a bit of a. It was unfortunate that the Willie's horse fell at the first, but you still gotta love the way he jumped and. The horse Asteria Furlan. Sorry, he was all over the place. So it just shows his focus. All he wants to do is just gallop and jump. So yeah, sure. It only proves that he's fitting well. He's going to take an awful lot of beating here. He's won at the last 2 festivals. He's the best national hunt horse in training. If you're looking at other horses, Skelton says Shan Blue will definitely go here. I don't know. I think he'd be better off over the further trip of 3 mile, but he knows best. Andy Dufresne is interesting. I know he's stable companion, but different owners. There's nothing else. I think that's he could put up the best. Franco de Port will definitely probably go here, I'd say. Brian said, I was talking to Brian in Leopardstown, and he said he just couldn't lie up early on. They were going too hard for him, and he'll be better over when he's going a bit further. So I'd imagine he'll come here and he'll go well. And but I don't think they'll beat Envoy Allen, unfortunately. So it's been boring enough, and stick with the odds on shot.
I thought that Shan Blue looks the obvious each way alternative here. If you're to actually look, he's 14-1 each way, and that's some firms are not non-runner, no bet. And I thought that was a very interesting bet because he is going here. The trainer said he's going here. I can't see how he could go for an RSA. Dave, I have to say I do disagree with you on that. I think he is going to be a better back-end trip in the Marsh. I think his jumping is key. He is a very fast jumper. When he's let, if he was given an easy a lead here, I wouldn't like to see Envoy Allen let him get too far ahead. I think he travels strongly. Obviously, he disappointed last year in the Ballymore, but I thought Kempton, when they made the most of him, sent him out in front, he obviously got a breather and went on again and obviously stayed the 3 miles. But I think back and trip, his jumping is the key. And as I said, I don't think they can afford to give him an easy lead. And if I was having a bet in the race each way, it would be him without the non-runner no bet, because that's as dirty an each way bet as you're going to get. Ante-Post, Ronan Groome.
Shan Blue definitely goes here because he's not even entered in any other race.
Well, that's true, yeah.
And you love to see that. Dan Skelton should be absolutely praised to the hill for that, because too many trainers just come out and they leave their options open, which is understandable. I know that, but it is a huge help to punters here when Shan Blue is definitely going here, and they haven't even given themselves the option of going for the RSA. They've set their stall out to go for this race, and I think he jumped beautifully in his Grade 1 win at Kempton. And to be honest, it looked like the big getaway is going to get to him every. Or the big breakaway. My apologies. Looked like he was going to just outstay him at all points up the straight, and it was Shan Blue's jumping that basically got him through the day. And I could see why they've come down in trip, where you can kind of utilise that sort of jump in here, where it probably counts for more than it would in the RSA. Like, there's nothing wrong with his profile at all. And just going back to Envoy Allen, look, it's like, I'm going to sound like you now, Barry, trying to crab him, but what has he actually achieved over fences this season? It's very hard to know. It's not a huge shout to say that his best form is his beginner's chase win, where he beat January Jets, and that one went on to win a beginner's chase 11% over Christmas. But the 3 horses he beat at Fairyhouse haven't been up to much. And then Asterion Furlong falls first time out at the first fence at Punchestown, and we don't really learn anything again. Like, it's, as I said, it's hard to book holes in a horse that's unbeaten and is a 2-time Cheltenham Festival winner and jumps for fun. But I just, on his chase form, I think you could take him on here at odds-on prices at this stage. And Champ.ie, he's definitely going for the race. That is a good each-way play at this point, at this exact point in time.
41, Ronan, 3 places, and how many are going to turn up on the day? I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 6-runner race.
Yeah, and then will scare people away. But the only thing is, I'd say there is there's no race for them to get scared away too, because if you go up, you've got to take on Monkfish. You go down, you've got to take on Shishkin. So maybe that comes into play here. Did want to mention Allard as well, Barry, because he's owned by Ronnie Bartlett, and he won the same race, same Grade 2 race that Simon Sigg won at Ascot on his first start over fences. Beat a good yardstick there and Fiddler the Roof. Now, I said earlier on that every horse beats Fiddler on the Roof, but for Allard to go and beat him on his chase debut, I thought was quite impressive. Obviously, a bit disappointed that he came down so early, but that he came down so early means that he didn't have much of a race at Doncaster, so they might get another race into him before the festival, which I think he probably will need, considering he only really has had 1 start over fences. But he was 5th in the Supreme last season, ran well there, and looked a much better chaser. I'd give him a chance if he came up here. But at this stage, I wouldn't grab anyone for taking on Envoy Allen, and we've mentioned that Champ.ie is the obvious one, so that'd be the one for me.
Yeah, I think he's one of the best each-way bets. I'm not saying he's going to go and win the race, but at 14 to 1, and I'm repeating myself here now, but 14 to 1, you're not going to get. You might not even get 8 runners here, so it's clearly good value given the fact that the trainer said he's going back. So, and just on that as well, Roland, 5 of the first 10. If you actually look down to the 10 at the top of the market, 5 of them are definitely not going to run. So they're definitely not going to run. So, and as you said, horses are going to be probably scared away by Allen.
Yeah.
So,
and just going back onto the Mayor's thing we were talking about it with the champion hurdle earlier on, like Damn the Company and Colreevy would, in a normal year, would run in this race, but now we have a Mayor's Chase, which is going to attract them, and this goes back to the point of too many races at Cheltenham Festival, too many horses can duck each other. So it's not hard, it's not difficult to see the races cutting up, as you say, Barry. And just on the Mayor's point, just one more point on this. I know we're probably labouring a bit now, but I don't think Mayors will get £7 allowances going forward all the time. I think people are doing enough crying about it now, and enough kind of giving out that £7 is too much. So it could be a case of trying to make hay while the sun shines if you have a good mare and run them in these Grade 1s, because I'm not sure the £7 allowance will always be around in festivals in the future. So one to bear in mind maybe of the good mare owners, but I can't see the likes of Colreevy, who's a Grade 1 winner over fences, when she has the Mayor's Chase there, to go for that, even though she's a novice. It probably makes more sense to go for a race like that.
The one I would mention at an absolutely massive price, and again, I'm not going to say he's going to win, but I was quite impressed by Paint the Dream at Newbury last time. He won off a mark of 137, but his jumping was impeccable. And people are speaking about Dickie Diver as a horse that could potentially be thrown in one of the handicaps. He's rated 147 now. He's still a novice. He still qualifies for this race, and just one maybe for a smaller trainer at a quite a big price at 25 to 1. If he did go here, he might potentially interest me each way. But Champ.ie as an each way bet at this stage, given what we know, I think 14 to 1 without the non-runner no bet is a cracking each way bet.